This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is brought to you by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup, register, and attend one of our fantastic networking meetings, which we meet on the first and third Thursday at the Brick House in Ridley Park, and the second and fourth Thursday at the Upper Crust in Newtown Square. We look forward to seeing you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Ryan Peeters of Path to Movement. Dr. Ryan, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Rich. It's so nice to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And what is Path to Movement?
Yeah, so Path to Movement was a little bit of a brainchild that I had. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, so I'm always in the space of rehab and injury and pain. And I wanted something that had a really long-term approach or a long view on, enjoying the activities and things that you do for a lifetime, not just getting over this pain so that you can do something next week or next month, but really have a lifetime or kind of a view on longevity.
What can people expect when they work with you?
Yeah, so mainly I see a lot of runners, everyone from recreational, like 5K, 5-milers, all the way up to marathoners, ultra marathoners, and youth athletes, even some fitness-minded adults who really just want like clarity on, why they're injured, what's stopping them from moving the way that they do. So things that you can always expect when you see me is one-on-one time, right? Unlike maybe some conventional physical therapy, you're never going to be double or triple booked with anybody. So that gives us a lot of individual approach. Nothing's cookie cutter. And I will say that I will never tell you to stop doing something. I feel like that's such an easy cop out to, especially like runners, for example, you go see somebody and they're like, well, my knee hurts. And the usual answer is like, well, just stop running. And I don't think that gets people, inevitably where they want to be. There's only truly a handful of things where we might want to shut it down and just to make sure that nothing's getting worse. But I really want to make sure I find a way for my clients to move forward doing the things that they love, because we know that physical ability and fitness is not just a physical attribute. It's really, how you deal with your mental health a lot of the times too. So, just stopping from doing your thing isn't always the long-term solution. So I want to make sure people have a way forward on the long-term side of that.
The name of your company is Path to Movement. You're talking about seeing people where they are in terms of maybe some injuries, some nagging pains or irritations. Are you then looking to that runner to correct that movement, to say, all right, we need to look at your form or how you're going about running, so to speak? Do you work with that training aspect too?
Yeah, that's a huge piece, really, because I feel like, especially in the healthcare model, I like to put quotes around that. It's really reactive. So it's really, based on let's just control the pain, look at the area that's bothering you. But I want to look more holistically and actually think about how these things are being caused, and then how can we push to fitness? Because once we inevitably get to fitness, where your strength's getting better, you're getting a little faster, it's actually easier to run and do the things you want, the likelihood of that problem coming back is way less. So I do like to bridge that gap between the rehab and the fitness. So a lot of the time, our sessions really start to look like workouts. Like I want people to be sweating when they leave here. I want people to feel like they're being pushed and challenged, because if we don't challenge, how can you really overcome something that's in the way?
I know we continue to connect with those that are runners. What are some of the injuries you're seeing day to day?
Yeah, I mean, the lower extremity is hugely common. So everything from like plantar fasciitis to, greater trochanter bursitis, which is just the fancy word for hip pain on the outside of your hip. I work with runners who have lower back pain as well. Most of the time, these are runners who have tried things in the past. They've tried conventional PT, they've tried injections, they've had a discussion with a doctor about surgery, and they're really not looking to do that. So I like to think that for that person who's tried a few things and been unsuccessful and is really looking to get back to a more holistic look at, okay, how do you move? What's your strength like? And what is your form like when you're actually running? And we can paint together a nice, path forward to deal with this.
You touched on something really important, mental health, and how your physical activity and your physical health really impacts that. And maybe mental health is more important than the overall physical activity. Do you find that with your patients and clients?
Oh my gosh, 100%. Yes. I mean, I'm somewhat of an athlete myself, right? Like I'm no high level elite athlete by any means, but I know what it's like to not be able to do something that you truly enjoy. And then that really kind of strips away at some of your identity, and you start to wonder, like, how am I going to have an outlet to just clear my head? And I mentioned how I'll work with runners who are training for a marathon or something, but sometimes some of the runners who see me, they just want to keep up with 3-mile jogs because it's their form of meditation. And I totally get that. The runner's high is real, and the way you feel after challenging yourself for 30 minutes in the heat, that's a sign of empowerment. So if you can overcome those obstacles, you usually have a little more fortitude in your own mental health to handle challenges in day to day. So yeah, they go together. They're not separate.
You mentioned sweating after you're done. So I imagine you're addressing flexibility, strength training, mobility, all kinds of modalities, and not just, all right, where's the pain? Let's go after it. Let's look at the whole body structure, your muscular structure, all of that.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because honestly, step one in my process of working with somebody is I need to get on the phone to explain that, because a lot of the times, you say like, oh, my shoulder hurts every time I like lift my kid up or I'm holding them. It bothers me. And, it's not your fault that you didn't get the education that maybe I did to understand how all our parts are related, right? So we have to do our due diligence and really look head to toe, because you could have a shoulder problem that's really just coming from the posture of your spine, your pelvis, and how you hold your head. So I always want to make sure that that person has real good clarity, not just on where their pain is, but what could be contributing to that when they just live their life, when they go to sleep at night, when they do their kind of daily activities, and when they train.
It's apparent to me that you really take a holistic approach to working with those that are coming to see you. Do you consider their diet or sleep as part of how you help them recover and train to be that day-to-day athlete?
Yeah, that's always in our conversation. We're always discussing, okay, how are you fueling yourself? What are you doing for your recovery techniques? A big question that I always ask, especially my runners, are you sacrificing sleep to train? If you're going to bed at 11 and then you're still getting up at 4:30 because you got to get that run in, and you're not recovered for the next day, like, these could be snowballing effects that are actually contributing to your injury. And we may need to just discuss more on the lifestyle factors. So most of our conversation is the purpose is to help them identify what could be contributing to this. But if it's a clear nutritional deficiency, if there's something health related, that's where I like to refer out to other practitioners who have more of a niche in dealing with making sure you are actually addressing the right micronutrients, the electrolytes, the things that could be just helping you have a better base or a better foundation to build fitness.
So it's really a team approach with you, and bringing in the right pieces to help get your athletes that are coming to see you. And I use the word athletes because if we have a mindset day to day, it's not just the athletes we see on TV. We all can be athletes no matter what our walk of life is. It's just about how we approach with that athletic mindset. But you're putting a team around, almost like having a pit crew for a race car. Mm-hmm. Is that something that's unique to you? Is that something you realize in your business? This is important because of the mindset that you're bringing to the people you're training and taking care of.
Yeah, I think it has to be. And it's honestly part of the reason why I started my business was, I've been a physical therapist as my profession for 10 years. So I've had the opportunity to see adults across their lifespan, from nursing homes to the hospitals to home health and outpatient. And that approach only gives you so much time to focus on one specific thing. And now with my company Path to Movement, I have more time to discuss these other factors like your sleep, your diet, your stress levels, just kind of how, what's your emotional life like, and how can those play a role on the type of things you want to do? Because if you're burning the candle from so many ends, how can you have enough to sustain ongoing workouts and an athlete-like lifestyle? Which I agree, right? Athlete is really just a measure of, do you do a sport or do you exercise? Like if you do one or two of those things, you're an athlete in my book.
How do people find you, Ryan? How do people connect with you?
Easiest way would be go to my website. It's enjoyeveryrun.com. You can find me on social media on Instagram, Facebook at Path to Movement. That's PATHTO Movement. Those are the easiest ways.
You're in Delco, and when we're talking more healthy lifestyle, I'm curious as to where these answers may go. You have a craving for a cheesesteak. Where are you heading?
Oh man, that's a good one. Do you know, like I'm actually really just into like, so it's funny, I'm not a Delco native. I like to say I'm Delco by marriage because my wife is the Delco native. I've lived in Wallingford for 7 years now, so it's beginning to feel a lot more and more like home. And I have a couple local like pizza places that I enjoy around our area that I'll just get a good cheesesteak from. So I just have to go with like my local pizza shops, like in Brookhaven, we got Pizza Party. I just like a just regular traditional, no frills, nothing crazy about it. So I'll stick with
So
that.
I'm imagining, Dr. Ryan, you're combining that cheesesteak craving with that pizza craving, and these are the local places that you're going to go to, right?
Yes, correct.
Now, you said something really important. By the way, that's how we build the ranks of Delconians. It's through marriage. We bring you in, we get you converted, and
Yep.
we continue to build the Delco strong lifestyle and all those things. How do you describe Delco to those people that you've left behind, and maybe they've never heard of Delco or what Delco is all about?
Yeah, that's funny. So I come from upstate New York in a small town called Worcester. So very rural, lots of blue collar, farmer lifestyle kind of things, very easygoing. And I like to actually think that there's a lot of similarity because what I've come to realize in Delco is that everybody kind of knows everybody. For as big as it is, especially in the running community, which is a big thing that I've really gotten more and more involved is the race organizers, the running clubs, the running stores, everybody kind of knows everybody. So that brings this kind of hometown feel. And I know that Delco has a good melting pot of like kind of some rough and tough places, but it's also got some really beautiful places. I like to joke that people here in Delco are just as comfortable like being alone walking in the woods as they are in Eagles tailgate. So when you get like that like balance of just both ends of the spectrum, you get some pretty wonderful things going on.
Wawa or Royal Farms for your convenience store option?
Oh, voila. Yeah.
You have friends or family coming in from out of town, and you want to give them or take them to have that Delco experience. Where are you taking them, or where are you sending them?
Oh, I mean, we're like like when it's like a go-to, I just need to kind of grab something that's quick, reliable, especially, reliable is a big thing, right? You want to go to somewhere and you like always get the same thing and make sure that you're getting some good quality. Like 320 Market, DeFabio's. If we want like a nice pizza or just like a good cocktail, a good dinner, Ariano's and Media is a home run.
I should have asked this question of you. Where are you taking your friends and family that run or to be outside in Delco?
Yeah, so I like because the trees are behind me, I'm a big trail runner, so I love to be in the woods running. I'm kind of become more of a road runner over the years. So I mean, you would be hard pressed to not find me at Ridley Creek running around there. So
Who mentors you? Who inspires you?
yeah, so part of the process and rooting here in Swarthmore. So my office is actually inside of Planked Fitness, which many people don't know that, right? So I've gotten to know Andy, the owner of Planked Fitness, really well. Him and I have a lot of similar ideas and thoughts on what fitness should be and the idea of building more of a lifestyle rather than just chasing numbers, right? So him and I have, he's been a great mentor to me, fellow business owner, as well as the good folks at Bryn Mawr Running Company. They've just been amazing in supporting the kind of vision that I have for helping runners. So, that they've been tremendous in helping that idea of like, let's create a longevity view on fitness and keep doing the things that we love.
Dr. Ryan Peeters, Path to Movement. Is there anything we haven't talked about on our podcast today? Anything you want the listeners to know more about you or Path to Movement?
Yeah, I think like just from the talk on like, being a physical therapy, being in that realm, I think a lot of people have a certain view on what PT is. And I'd like to kind of challenge that and let them know that, PT isn't just hot packs and bands and simple exercises. If you do identify as, somebody who likes to push themselves, challenge themselves, part of my approach and my method is to not just do this one-on-one PT, but also get towards coaching. And another part of my company is to help runners have also like hybrid sessions. So for example, I have a couple marathon and half marathon runners that I work with on a very routine basis where I help them strategize their training plan that fits their work schedule, allows them to, hit their race goal, but also see the side of like, okay, how do I stay healthy? How do I maintain my strength and do workouts that aren't just running related? So there is the option to do hybrid sessions as well as like remote coaching. So if you are really serious and you really want to take some of your running to the next level, there are options to work more remotely where I can help you prioritize your training for your particular race or just what you do in the realm of keeping your body healthy and fit.
All right, you need to start working with cyclists because we require that next level training too, but I know that running is your passion, so I do understand that. Delco, you got some aches and pains, things nagging on you. You want to take that athletic plan and those goals that you have to the next level. Reach out to Dr. Ryan Peeters and get that appointment. Set that appointment today. Dr. Ryan, thanks so much for your time today, and we can't wait to see you running around Delco.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rich. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you. Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.